could I stop right here and say, why don't we're going round and round and round in circles. We have somebody that's offered to work on it, and we don't mean over the next 5 years, we mean right now, get a plan together. Come back, discuss that plan, find out actual amounts, get how much the engineer would cost. I still think you need somebody to tell us what's going to happen if you start messing around with that building.
I think regardless of who touches it, the first step is a structural engineer, because the structural engineer is going to tell us part of what you would hire him to do is to give us a plan. Tell us what the plan is, because he'll have to do testing. Before he does anything, he'll do drill core central testings above ground, and he'll go down into the subcoring and do core testing below ground, and then come back and provide an evaluation on whether or not there is a liability concern. And if there is a liability concern, what his recommendation would be to alleviate that concern.
So, having said that and all the rest of this stuff, I think we're back to point one. Are we willing to work together to come up with a plan and not wait forever to see something done? And if so, we probably should have that in the form of a motion.
In order to make the motion, we got to list all the entities involved. Zach Development? As far as
Zoning, planning and zoning? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can say, I don't know that Zach Development has to be on a motion for us to work on it.
Well, I was just solidifying that there was a partnership here, that's all I was saying.
Ms. Barb, did you say you needed to start, maybe you said you needed to start with a structural engineer?
Right.
That's the first step.
Right.
So you need the information. I would guess the much of it would be to have me,
Start with that.
to have me set up a plan of, start to contact structural engineers.
And work through.
And start working with Steve. But
Okay,
I don't know
we
that
still
it
have to
requires,
pay.
I don't know that it requires a motion, to be honest, because all I'm going to be doing at this point, you can instruct me to start making plans for a
Get a
structural
cost
engineer.
estimate, they get
But there's no
an
need to
engineer.
include an arrangement with Steve and I. Steve and I can start the meeting.
To look at a structural engineer and maybe set some plans for who's going to be involved, and what committees and so on, or organizations going to be involved, and then kind of get together a committee to handle
You
that.
can basically instruct me to start organizing the community organization.
Sure.
If that costs $2,500, council, Adam, is the money there to pay $2,500 to a structural engineer to find out what's going on in that building?
Yes.
Council, are you ready to say we're ready to support this with $2,500 to, or whatever, within a range of so much to get that structural engineer on the premises? Because there's nothing going to happen until it does.
We don't have to put a bid on that, do we? Just RFP or just somebody to seal it?
I'll basically make a contact with 4 or 5 people and check out their preferences, get pricing.
Are you willing to let him apply for that $50,000 grant? Are you
But that
willing?
means we got to take ownership.
If we have to have ownership, we can't.
According to you,
Can't do it.
correct?
You're the eligible applicant for the grant.
I realize that, but you have stated that we have to own the building in order to get the grant. Is that correct?
For the grant, there's a time frame, so
Is that correct?
I don't know. Adam will have to look into that.
Check into that, see.
This is the first year on this grant, and there's going to be all kinds of questions coming out during the grant.
The most grants you can apply, city can apply for on behalf of somebody else, and you just give them
And,
that.
and technically, this particular grant we're talking about, Keep Iowa Beautiful, and any nonprofit actually can also apply to this one. Now, that is not the case with, as we've talked before, Mel Pins and the money for the Brownsville. But for the purposes of the 50,000 one we've discussed, yeah, any nonprofit actually can serve as needs to apply.
So where is the match coming from for the Keep Iowa Beautiful grant? Is there a match requirement on that?
Yes, there is. It doesn't say how much or what it needs to be. Of course, once again, going back to our first year, there's no history, there's no record to work from. The proposed panel and I have in place for the council to approve will be 50% matching coming from local funds. And I say that generically because that doesn't necessarily mean that all those local funds will be coming from the city funds.
And as you said, almost any nonprofit, however, with all the new governance and guidelines that we've been going through, you're going to find that they will not write a check to anybody unless they are a 501c3. Okay? So,
Back to, are you willing to make a motion to commit to the engineering services contract?
Or specified dollar amount, yes.
Like, within a range of this to this? If
I
you give us
would
an
say not to
idea?
exceed $5,000.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and seconded to not exceed $5,000 to conduct a structural engineering study of Mansion Building. I'll call it a vote. It's a windshield building.
And you want me to add into that motion, to have Adam proceed with the,
Yes, please.
in the other item, the three items we're talking about, okay. Councilman Brady,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Hampton,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Can I make one comment?
Yes?
Before we, and I'm just going to make a comment, as a private individual, I'll be contacting a few of you folks to make a personal visit with the Winchell Law Firm or that Shell Corporation, just to address those folks. And the reason I bring it up now is just so kind of like everyone knows that it's coming.
you guys read the story for the paper, we can do that.
But you can have one ready and we'll
We can
kind of
submit it,
maybe
huh?
come up with something.